I never would have imagined that using your car as your home space or your office space would have been a thing. Um, I've done it for years. Even when I got off work when I was in education, and I would leave the classroom, um, and I would drive home. I would sit in my driveway at least a half an hour before I went into the house to see my family. And I didn't even realize that I was doing it until a neighbor said to me, "Hey, you usually sit in the car, but you didn't do that today." And I'm like, first of all, why are you watching me? But two, I guess I do sit in the car. And then I had to like think, why do I do that? And I just, for me, it actually was self-care. I didn't call it that at the time, but it was a way of separating and detaching mentally from all of the things that went on for the day in terms of administration and the classroom and students and parents and administration and admin work, okay, whatever. It was just a way to separate, almost like a buffer or a filler between my day life and my home life, or my work life and my home life. And it was a way of subconsciously really finding time just for me in my own little world. And I got teased for that, a little bit, but it was still such a peaceful space. And I found that when I did take that time before I went into the house, that I was a nicer person. I was more at peace. I was more present. When I greeted my family, and just more, probably just nicer to be around. And not that I'm like, I was terrible, but I think sometimes it's easy to be around people that you love and be just mentally detached or short or a little curt or, So anyway, but now, having gone through this, I don't know if you've seen any of the previous videos, but in some of my other videos, I was talking about the fact that when I was let go from my job, I was actually very much at peace. But what I did was, day one, I spent time just planning, and I did that in my car, because it was like I felt that there was a sense of urgency of taking my ideas as they were coming to me and putting them on paper. And I wasn't interested in looking for a park or a quiet space or a restaurant where I had to, figure out if I need to purchase something to stay. I just needed to get it done. And my space, which I have come to know it's like my own little mini sanctuary, is what started it for me, and it became my office. And I can actually show, if anyone's interested, on what my car office space looks like. That's one. Two, I know that there are far more probably interesting videos because people are living in their cars. And I think perspective is so important, because if it serves you, if it is helping you meet a need or a goal, or it just works for you for whatever reason, then that's what you do. So I think perspective is interesting, because 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, not dating myself, but it would be unheard of to be, having a conversation about living in your car or it being your sanctuary. So there's so many interesting videos of people who are not only, some are living in their car by choice. I heard of a well-known singer who, by choice, she decided to live in her car, and I just give her props for that, because that's what works for her. And sometimes it's just a means to an end. I definitely used my car as a rolling office, and then for Wi-Fi, I found some really great locations to go to, but I found that it was just like my own space. Anyway, I won't get into all that, but anyway, my point of this is perspective. Do what works for you. Figure out what you want, what you need, what serves you, and do that. Okay. Anyway, that is all I have at the moment. But check out some of the other videos, and please, I would love to know. Listening to other people's stories and experiences, that is a passion of mine. That fuels me. I love hearing different walks of life, different experiences, different paths that people have taken, because I learn from that. So I completely value you and the path that you walk, and I learn from it. I glean from it, and I'm just grateful for that, because I've learned so much from so many people who have shared their stories, many of which I probably will never meet. But I just want to say that I am so grateful that you decided to use the tool of social media or YouTube specifically to just share your story and to be who you are. And that, to me, I'm so grateful for that. So anyway, check out the other videos and leave a word of inspiration or a phrase or, something that inspires you or makes you laugh. Take that too. And I'll see you in the next one.